our 2023 impact. So over to you, Shawn.
Thanks, Susan, and thank you for such a great panel. That was really awesome and really inspiring. Hi, everybody. I'm Shawn Werner. I'm our Organizing and Political Director. And I'm just going to walk a little bit before we head into 2024. It's important for us to take a step back and remember the amazing things that we all collectively accomplished just last year. Obviously, everyone knows we won 8 of our 10 races in the Commonwealth of Virginia, making sure that we held on to that slim majority in the Virginia State Senate. And we flipped the Virginia House. Woohoo! But it's fun to talk about all of those races and winning, but what the impact that we ultimately have is absolutely massive. In 2023, we raised over $551,000 for our 10 candidates. And I think that the one thing that is unique about Sister District, and I think that all of the energy on this call is awesome around early dollars. This allows our candidates to receive those resources. And then for other folks that tend to make their funding decisions later, our candidates are in a better position so that they can get more money because, as we all know, early money is like yeast. And it makes the dough rise. And so 75% of all of our resources were contributed to our candidates before September 1st. We were talking a lot about the phone banking. It is important to remember that the Virginia House of Delegates was decided by 965 votes. We have 51 to 49 seat majority. And because of the power of everyone on this call and the teams that engage, we made over 328,000 dials. Now, 40% of those were done in the summer before September 1. That's not atypical because we make so many dials during GOTV, reminding folks to get out and vote. I think the one thing that's really, really powerful is that, Virginia has no contribution limits, right? And so people can write $1 million checks, and there were people that were writing those size checks. But I think that the thing that is the most important is if you added up all of the contributions from our network throughout the country, in each of our races prior to Election Day, we were one of the top 10 donors. So that is really articulating and highlighting the role that we can have in these elections. I also say that winning elections is important, but it's only important when we can impact the public policy. We can go to the next slide. And those wins have been absolutely huge. I'm sure everyone has saw that we have now in Virginia, the former capital of the Confederacy, the largest Black legislative caucus, including the first Black speaker in Dawn Scott and President Pro Tem Louise Lucas. If you don't follow her on Twitter, I highly recommend it. She is a ton of fun. And it's also important to realize that we are no longer on the defensive. We are on the offense in Virginia, making Governor Youngkin veto very popular legislation, whether that is increasing the minimum wage, expanding access to ballots, and protecting LGBTQ folks. We are able to ultimately shape the narrative in Virginia. It's also been amazing to see some of our rock star lawmakers like Danica Rome already passing 4 bills that is sent to Governor Youngkin. And I think that the most important thing for us to remember in a post-Dobbs world is that we protected abortion access. In Gabby's conversation, she was talking about how we are in a more favorable climate down ballot. It is important to remember, as she had mentioned, 2022, we did not lose a single legislative chamber for the first time since early 1900s. 2023, we win again, and a large part of that was a referendum on Governor Youngkin's attempt to pass a 15-week abortion ban. The voters are with us. We have to do the work, but we know what to do, and if we all collectively do that together, 2024 is going to be just as an impactful year as 2023. So with that, I'll kick it over to my colleague, Raven.
Thanks so much, Shawn. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Raven Douglas, and I'm the head of Civic Engagement Programs here at Sister District. I'm so thrilled to be here sharing some exciting updates from our Civic Engagement and Research departments. Here at Sister District, our commitment goes beyond just elections. We are truly dedicated to making a lasting impact on progressive change. So let's dive into the incredible work that unfolded in 2023. Last year, we were hard at work in both of our civic engagement and research departments, making intentional strides towards impacting long-term progressive change. One of our flagship initiatives, the Purple District Network, has been instrumental. This exclusive state legislator network supports progressive lawmakers specifically in purple districts. In 2023, we recruited 28 new members, bringing the size of our network to 90 state lawmakers across 30 states, including many sister district alumni. Our community building efforts include 3 to 4 virtual convenings annually, a quarterly newsletter, a resource library, and a member directory that we just recently moved to our webpage to make it more accessible to our members. Recognizing the need for greater support, we have also launched our first identity-based caucus, our Black Women's Caucus, as well as an advisory committee to continue to provide the critical resources and governance support that state legislators need all across the country. Next slide, please. In our commitment to understanding and addressing down ballot engagement, Sister District is in the process of conducting insightful research. Many voters, even when they are sufficiently motivated to go to the polls or mail in their ballots, will vote solely for high salience races at the top of the ticket and not in state legislative elections further down the ballot. Currently, there is little existing research that identifies or explains the reasons why voters engage in this down ballot roll-off behavior. In partnership with Data for Progress, we conducted focus groups followed by a large-scale survey to learn more about public perceptions of state power, state legislators, and voting in state legislative elections. This research dives deep into how voters spanning the political spectrum and various demographics perceive their state representatives, the importance they play on state versus federal power, and their voting behavior from the top to the bottom of the ballot. Building on this research, we're actively developing a toolkit for volunteers, organizations, and key partners to utilize in the field this fall. Next slide, please. And as we reflect on the ever-growing power of state legislators, we understand the need to tell compelling stories. In 2023, we partnered with Team Vogue to amplify these narratives through op-eds and Q&As, spotlighting historic firsts among elected state lawmakers. From the first Korean American woman elected to the Virginia House of Delegates, to the first openly LGBTQ+ senator in Georgia's history, to the youngest Black person elected to any state legislator in this country, now is the perfect time to tell resonant stories about the power and promise of state legislators. Looking ahead to 2024, we're expanding our narrative work by collaborating with additional media partners and stakeholders by relaunching our State Power series. This initiative aims to spark conversations around the increasing importance of states and the essential need for sustained state power building efforts. Additionally, keep an eye out for our new SDN monthly newsletter called States and Stats, which will feature our research. You can learn more about our Purple District Network members and updates from our target states. And lastly, but certainly not least, you can go to the next slide. Let's talk about our State Bridges program, which is a cornerstone in laying the groundwork for electoral victories. In 2023, we achieved remarkable milestones, hosting 5 virtual fundraisers supporting 8 organizations across 5 key states. Together, we collectively raised over $125,000, bringing our total funds raised to over $500,000 since 2019 when the program was first started. So far this year, we have raised nearly $55,000 in support of organizations in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, far surpassing our monthly projected fundraising goals for the year. Don't miss our next State Bridges event, which is next Wednesday, March 13th. We really hope to see you there. Thank you for being a part of our journey and for your unwavering support. As we look back on 2023, we can see the true impact you all have made and the foundation we've laid for even greater strides. So with that said, we are going to take a very short break and come back at 10:55 Pacific time. And then Susan will give us more information on our breakout sessions.